OUAI is making it easy to give way better gifts this holiday season. Their hair and body products are specifically designed to customize a routine that works for you and personalize a gift for everyone on your list. Get on your way to save for the holiday. Go to TheOuai, TheOuai.com for 15% off site-wide and enter promo code JUICY. That's TheOuai.com for 15% off with the code JUICY. Say goodbye to uncomfortable underwire and bulky fabrics that trap heat. Honey Love's bra features supportive bonding that eliminates the need for underwire. Their shapewear uses targeted compression technology, so you no longer have to feel like you're suffocating while you're wearing effective shapewear. Treat yourself to the best bras and shapewear on the market and save up to 50% off site-wide at honeylove.com/juicy for the month of November only. Inventory is limited and the sale ends soon, so don't miss their best deals of the year. Elevate your comfort, elevate your style, thanks to Honey Love. One thing I love about Rocket Money is they just alerted me that there was an increase in a subscription price. And I looked at it and I was like, I don't know if I'm that into that anymore. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/juicy.
Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data, and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Woo, woo. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Listen, a lot of you guys have had questions and I understand why. If you're subscribed to the extra Juicy Scoop on Apple Podcast, that is the purple app on your iPhone. This is the extra paid platform that's $5 per month, cost of a cup of coffee. This allows you to get the extra juicy Friday episode. All the shows are then ad-free, okay? So you don't have to listen to the ads. Also, all the past episodes are ad-free for the past 10 years. So you can listen to Heather Dubrow from 2016 or Joe Coy back before he really blew up and we were just coming off Chelsea lately. Chris Frangiola, all the funny episodes with him, all of that. When I had some of these famous episodes I talk about, Dina Manzo, the runner who was a call girl, all those type of shows are there for you to enjoy. Now, if you subscribed before November, then you'll need to resubscribe and you'll automatically be credited in the next 30 days. Everything will be the same. You just need to resubscribe. So don't hesitate. We will give you 3 days to try it out for free. Okay, you get those 3 free days. Also, you can just go right to my website, heathermcdonald.net, and join Patreon to get the Friday episodes, but you could also be a Triple Scoop and a Get Me Behind Gates member and all of that. So you have several choices, but I want to explain that they deliver different things as well. So also, that's where you get my stand-up tickets. You know, I'm coming to New York and DC and New Jersey, February 14th, 15th, and 16th. And that's a great gift to give for Christmas to the Juicy Scooper in your life. Present that and come see those shows. And I'm adding more this year. All right, you guys, now for the best episode ever. Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Well, you guys, we're talking. Did Heather lose 2 more friends? Where are Brandy and Julie? I knew those bitches would turn on her. Welcome, Brandy Howard, Julie Goldman, fresh from doing a huge long stint in Portland. And then also this weekend we were together in Irvine.
We were.
And luckily you could come today.
Listen, nothing's going to keep us apart. You know what I mean? I don't care.
Love will keep us together.
Okay.
That's your cue, Heather.
We really are a throuple like no other. And no, we had so much fun. To everybody that came to the Irvine shows, It was so fun, the stand-up and then the live on Sunday. We had a blast.
And
it was
also,
so great
we
seeing everyone.
talked almost every day when we were in Portland to you. And
Yes.
you dropped your little baby, your youngest. He was in Oregon. Like, we all just did Oregon together.
Yeah,
it was
weird.
very serendipitous.
Very coincidental.
Well, listen, he has to get somehow to Portland, which he wasn't able to do to see your show, to get on a plane and fly to Palm Springs. And every day I write him, did you get your ticket? Because they have like a bus ticket or a train ticket from Eugene to Portland. And I'm just going to, until he says I'm on the plane on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I will not rest.
So you guys aren't going to buy it for him. Like,
The
just
ticket?
just get it.
No, because he's like, oh, this kid can take me. And I'm like, can you just get the ticket just in case? It's only $18 if you're a student. It's or something cheap. So just, if there is a juicy, I'm going to put it out. If there's a juicy scooper from Eugene that needs to go to Portland on the Wednesday, I will put my son in your car. I'm not worried. It's not like I'm putting a 4-year-old with a stranger. I mean, he's pretty big.
He can handle himself.
He can handle
Yeah.
anybody. So if you'd like to get some scoop, let him spill the beans for 2 hours driving to Portland. Anyway, so much fun this weekend.
So
we
much
had a
fun.
blast. Thank you for everyone came.
The
Okay.
Juicy Scoopers are great, I do want to say.
Yes, they are.
They're really, and the crossover, we did get some gifts via your meet and greet,
Oh yeah, you did.
which
get
were
it.
fun.
You got
Always
a good
fun.
gift.
But they're just like, they're nice. They're cool. Some
I got-
friends are toxic. And
My
you're
gifts,
lucky.
I got a really cute sweatshirt cocktail from a Juicy Scooper who's become a friend. It says cocktails. I got a Rumbauer bottle of wine. I got Hourglass Cosmetics, a huge box from the Hourglass like rep person. She's got it up in the big Juicy Scooper wearing that makeup now. Oh my God, what else did I get? Oh, I got a painting of an original art piece of the Drake Hotel.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's great.
If I forgot,
That's cool.
If you got
and
me
I mean,
something,
you
and
definitely did forget.
if I'm forgetting some other gifts, you guys, I love meeting you. I love taking photos, and we all had so much fun.
So much fun.
Okay, so now let's get into this story that happened. It's been happening for a week, so I'm going to explain it to you. There's this girl named Brianna Chicken Fry. Chicken Fry is not her real last name, but she's young. I don't even know if she's 30. She has a popular podcast under the Barstool label with Dave Portnoy,
Portnoy.
Portnoy.
whatever. You
Exactly.
see him everywhere. He's very opinionated. He's very successful. This is his network. I didn't realize he was also like on this podcast with her, but he is, along with this other guy. And then she had this other best friend named Grace, who I think they also had a podcast. Whatever. She's very popular, cool girl, likable. And she's been dating the country star Zach Bryan for like a year.
And he
everybody-
is enormous.
And
like
he's
stratospherical.
If you don't know him, look it up. You will recognize every song. Like his top songs, you will go, oh, he sang that? So he's a young guy, huge concerts, all this stuff. Writes his own music.
Real quick, was he at Stagecoach?
Probably. I don't
Okay.
even remember. If
Okay.
not, he's probably coming this year, whatever. So people that followed her liked that they were this couple. You'd see her on stage with them. They'd go on tour, blah, blah, blah. They broke up. And it first started out where she was like crying and I'm blindsided. I don't know how this happened. And she's crying and I need to take a week off, which I think is good. I was like, yeah, you should take a week off. Like, that's heartbreaking. Then they come back and the three of them, Dave, Josh, the other guy on the show, and her, start spilling the beans about this relationship. And she says everything from the latest thing is she forced him as the boyfriend. She said he didn't want to go. Please, can we go to Grace's, my best friend's grandmother's funeral? And he was like, oh, why are we doing this? They go to the funeral in which she said, I guess he was kind of not a delight. And then after that, allegedly, that's when he wrote the song Pink Skies, which is about a family going to a loved one's funeral. So they're saying you're even getting inspiration and writing things. Like apparently he wrote it that night.
Wow.
Meanwhile, when they broke up, in which I guess he got caught cheating, being on like apps or something like that, along with just being a dick and gaslighting and being mean to when her friends came, all just, there's
Well,
so
they're
much
definitely
to
saying
it.
drinking and then being an asshole.
Right. Like this was one that I really thought was a weird asshole move, which I think a lot of girls could relate to, especially someone who might be in the public eye. They went to the Grammys or something together, or the Golden Globes. I don't know what it was. And she was there and he was there too. And she wore this black dress and she looked great. Or maybe she went to something by herself. And he started to be like, I can't believe you're wearing this dress. This is like really skimpy, blah, blah, blah. But then he like reposted a photo of her being like, look how hot my girl looks. So it was like, Julie said. So it's a lot of that. But then she just kept being like, okay, because yeah, he's a big country star. It's fun. She's in love with him. They stay together. Anyway, jumping forward. Now she's saying she was offered $12 million by him to never talk about him again.
Because he had gotten drunk and made like a few scenes publicly or privately that he didn't. That's just at least what they've spilled so far.
I mean, there's so many little things. Clearly, it was an awful relationship. A lot of girls especially couldn't relate to being with a power dynamic, even though she was very successful in her own right, wanting to make it work, being confused, like, well, wait, are you mad at me? Or like one of those type of things. Then she was on her podcast tour and, you know, he would try to like fuck that up right before she went on stage, screw her birthday up, like just constant type of things like that. So then Dave was like, fuck this guy. And he and the other guy wrote all these like funny songs about him, making fun of his Lego head and saying that he's a cheater, saying he's the country Diddy. And they're dropping all these songs that are actually quite catchy, I guess. And then it went back. Then there was rumors that Dave offered her $10 million to talk about it. Anyway, so he says all this stuff. And but it comes off good. You know, he's sticking up for her. He's like, screw this guy. You've been found out cheating, being an asshole, whatever. So it just keeps continuing on. And some other people are like, oh my God, I would have taken the $12 million. But then the other side of it is, well, if she had really gotten into like a legal agreement like that, it still means that he could then write songs about his broken relationship with her and make money off of that, and she would never be able to respond. Even if they were fake, even if they were positive, even if they were like, my brunette girl got away or whatever,
right?
She still could never respond or profit off of it, and he could probably make a lot more than $12 million writing songs about her. So,
but he still can do that.
He still can, but now she can too.
But not to the tune of $12 million.
Like,
I don't believe. I'm like, you take your lawyers and you counter offer at 20 and call it a damn day.
I think Dave is very, very smart, obviously. He discovered Call Her Daddy and everything. Now, Call Her Daddy is not with him anymore. You know, it's at Sirius and Spotify before that. But I think he was like, oh, this is going to skyrocket the new girl power. Fuck this guy. I'm going to be the hero behind exposing bad male behavior and screw it. I don't feel sorry for Luke Bryan, Zach Bryan. I don't feel sorry for Zach.
But they are all named Luke.
No, there's Luke Combs, there's Luke Bryan, there's Zach Bryan, and there's Zach somebody else. Yeah. And they're all in country music. Yeah. And anyway, I don't feel sorry.
Luke Bryan somewhere just
I don't feel sorry for him, obviously, at all, because the way the world is working, he will do just fine.
He's going to Taylor
And there's
Swift
a million girls that are like, you can gaslight me and tell me you hate my dress and be mean to my friends.
And then pay me $12 million.
And paid me $12 million or not. Just to fuck you, I would do it. Just to say I was with Brianna Chicken Fry's ex-boyfriend who sings songs. Like, he will do just fine. And people will still like his music. And people will still go to his concerts. And this will be over in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But what I do think is smart is that she didn't take the money. And that's because this is your career. Your career is talking about your life. When I first heard about it and didn't know all the details, I was like, wow, you know, for a young girl who's got a popular podcast, good luck ever getting a boyfriend. Like, I do think it's kind of a risky thing, whether he's a finance guy. And I remember I talked about it with Call Her Daddy's, you know, ex-co-host who's very successful, Sophia Franklin. And she was like, yeah, it's been difficult to date. And I go, but also they have the advantage because they can go back and listen to 500 of your episodes about all your ex-boyfriends and the sex that you like and blah, 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 blah. They can know everything about you. But then they're like, ooh, don't tell anybody I'm your boyfriend because I work at, this financial institution or whatever. So it is what it is. But I think
unless she got money from Dave Portnoy, which I wouldn't be shocked. He's a very shrewd, clever businessman and good at what he does. I mean, I think you need to take millions from something. You don't just sit there and go, I get to tell my story for free on where the podcast I'm already paid to be on. Right. Somebody needs to give you a check.
There was probably some deal where he was like, this is going to be great. And then the first time they talked about it, seeing it had 17-page 6 article and people, then they're like, let's keep going and it's all going to be great. And you're going to be like this hero because all the young girls that I see that are following this are like, go Brianna Chicken Fry. Yeah. You are our queen. Screw this guy, expose him because, he mind screwed you and all this other stuff. Tried to offer you money to shut up. But I guess he also was cheating. So I know everybody wants to get their gift giving done in July. Well, that doesn't really work for me. But what does is Way. Yes, it's okay if you didn't get all your holiday shopping done as early as you'd hope because Way is making it easy to give way better gifts this holiday season. Their hair and body products are specifically designed to customize a routine that works for you and personalize a gift for everyone on your list. I absolutely love it. And I love giving it to my sister. She is so grateful because where we live in La Quinta, the desert, the hair gets very dry. It's a very dry atmosphere out there. So she absolutely loves their leave-in conditioner. It is multitasking leave-in conditioner. It detangles, hydrates, and fights frizz for every hair type on your list. Get on your way to save for the holiday. Go to TheWay, TheOuai.com for 15% off site-wide and enter promo code JUICY. That's TheOuai.com for 15% off with the code JUICY. As a woman, I don't think there's anything worse than having an uncomfortable bra. And you know what? I realize you don't have to do that. Ever since I've discovered Honey Love, I'm so happy. Honey Love has revolutionized the bra and shapewear game. Say goodbye to uncomfortable underwire and bulky fabrics that trap heat. Ugh. Honey Love's bra features supportive bonding that eliminates the need for underwire. Like, why did we have to suffer with underwire all these years? Their shapewear uses targeted compression technology, so you no longer have to feel like you're suffocating while you're wearing effective shapewear. Absolutely love my shapewear that I'm wearing. I'm going to wear 3 very fancy gowns and it just goes right up under my boob, sucks me in, lifts my booty, and is so comfortable. Treat yourself to the best bras and shapewear on the market and save up to 50% off site-wide at honeylove.com/juicy for the month of November only. Inventory is limited and the sale ends soon, so don't miss their best deals of the year. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support Juicy Scoop and tell them I sent you. Elevate your comfort, elevate your style, thanks to Honey Love.
I spent too much time thinking about this in the last week and never having, I've seen clips of the podcast here and there because they're everywhere. But what I decided in my mind, and I'm sure your listeners know the truth, is that she was in college and her name was Brianna and there was another Brianna and they both kind of looked alike. And basically this Brianna was the one who threw the chicken fries. And so they'd be like, is it Brianna Simpson or is it Brianna Chicken Fry?
Oh, that's how she got the name.
That's just what I've decided because I can't stop thinking about it. Like, is it Heather Podcast or is it Heather Slut or whatever? Like the two different, you differentiate. Right. And if she threw... Because the branding of her and this name, the level that is coming into play here, like her name is everywhere. It's so memorable. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, and it's like.
I mean, that's not her real last name.
Yeah, no.
That's what I love.
Yeah, it's great.
And so.
I mean, I did wonder because I didn't know who it was. I was like, does she fry chicken?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I think.
Is she like great
Brianna
at doing
Simpson
videos
or Brianna the chicken fry girl?
Is she do? Because I was like, who's this? I want to watch her cook chicken. Like, what are we doing?
I
want to learn how to fry chicken.
I am curious to see who she will date next. And if it's not a public figure, then that person can say, whatever happens, you're not allowed to speak about me.
Oh, you're signing NDAs now.
Not
maybe.
even an NDA. If she just marries a guy if she just dates a guy who is not a public figure, Luke Bryan obviously is.
Zach Bryan.
Zach Bryan is. So let's just say she meets Joe Schmo, who works in tech and is hot and whatever. And they
rich.
have a fun year-long relationship and they ride bikes and whatever. And then they break up and she has to go, again, I have to take a week off because I broke up with my boyfriend. She won't be able to like talk shit about him just based on because he's not a public figure. That it could be problematic. If the guy wanted to go after her, it could be problematic.
Right.
Because
I can tell you Zach Bryan will no longer date anyone with any kind of platform.
No. So if you're a
No.
non-famous girl and you don't mind being gaslit and told what to wear, and sometimes he's nice to your friends, sometimes he's mean.
Yeah.
He's
Sometimes
not even hot.
Very famous, very rich.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
I
Like
know,
he's
I'm
a
just
rock star.
saying.
There's
I just need to say it.
like thousands of people are
Yeah.
cheering from
He's
him and all
enormous.
of it. Yeah. So there you go. Now this is a juicy story. In August, this guy went kayaking
Oh my God.
in a lake in Wisconsin. And he's got 3 kids, like 11, 12, and 15, and a wife. And he didn't come home, and they freaked out, and they said, we're worried. And they went and sent the authorities out there, and they found a capsized kayak. All his stuff was still left there, his car, license, all these things, keys. They, looked at the bottom of the lake and never found him. They now know he's alive. He had said back in January that he lost his passport, in which he got another one. So he
I've done
could have
that.
2 passports so that you could escape your own death.
Yeah, no, but I've lost a passport and then had to get another passport. And now I have 2 passports. But
Because
one,
then she found it
yeah,
in her
because then I
passport
found it.
holder.
We told you the story. But then,
Right, yes.
But now I've got 2 passports. But once you get the new passport, the other passport is expired.
But then she lost the new one on the same trip.
I also did that as
and
well.
then we were hoping that the old one, which is now defunct, which we found in the passport holder, would work to get us out of China.
Well, thank God you're here.
Exactly.
Well,
And we're just like, fingers crossed.
maybe
this
so.
guy-
Julie did not fake her own
She
death.
probably tried to,
So
honestly.
he's 54. They found out he's been talking to some woman,
So he didn't do this to go with a secret family he had.
a secret girlfriend. Yes, he did.
Oh, he did. Okay.
He found a girl that he was talking to online.
Okay.
He wasn't never filed for divorce. He wasn't, I just think if you're the wife, if you just have to say thank you for not killing me.
Yes,
Thank you
you're
for
right.
not killing
And
me.
our 3
I am
kids.
fine that you faked your death
Yep.
to go to Europe.
Such a good call.
But you could have killed. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
'cause
My
you're clearly insane.
My kids should not have a. Fuck this! Like you should not. You've lost your kids, but you would have lost your kids anyway if you would have killed me, and they would have lost a mother.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for being a class act. He also got a $375,000 life insurance policy before doing it, which is also nice for them
family.
to get.
Oh,
Oh, that's
So
cool.
Wow.
he just was like, so he's at 54. He started talking to some girl in some country.
it
I
says
forgot the name.
Uzbekistan.
Where is that?
That is in the hill. That's in
The
the mountains
Caucasus.
of Russia. Yes, the Caucasus.
Oh, those Russians, Russian light, whatever this is. They know what to do. Those women. So
I mean, Uzbekistan.
and then they
Because
don't. They
he
still
needed
don't
a
know where
passport
he
to
is.
get out of this country.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Then they found out that somehow some Canadian official, his passport had gone through there. So that's where they. So they've
some
been on-
research.
They still don't know where he is, and they're saying, please let us know that you're, okay. The family wants to talk to you, and they don't know if they're going to press charges. Well, they should. They spent so much money looking for him. So now I have a new show I'm pitching.
Yes.
I faked a kidnapping, and we've got Sherry Papini. We have this guy. We could just throw.
Well, it could be death. It's death. It's kidnapping.
It could be Justice
because
Smollett.
we're doing hate crime.
Yeah.
So I
Anything-
faked.
faking-
I faked
faked-
my.
I faked a crime against myself. I
Yeah.
faked being a victim.
Yep.
Great.
Victim.
I faked being a victim.
Because I've known people who put it out that they died like on social media, and then they're like, Shane's alive, and it's like, wow, unreal.
Yeah.
Love it. That is so good.
And then they go in a house.
Well, also, may I just...
They live in a house. This is taking it. Now we're into
they're
surreal
all
victim
in a
life.
house.
Yes. Yeah, they're all in a house
Oh, and it's a
talking.
competitive reality.
And there's competitive games and stuff and
Oh my
tricks
God.
about.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not for nothing, I'm glad that you're saying this because
Yes.
Dancing with the Stars, aka Dancing with the Criminals, is already
Yeah.
halfway there.
Yeah.
So let's take out the Anna. Let's take out. You can do cons. And then they can all go to your show in your house.
Okay, my other favorite story is the blonde mom from Petaluma who claimed that she believed that this cute grandmother, like young grandparent couple who were Mexican, she said that they were trying to traffic her kids, try to steal her kids.
Was she the one jogging?
At Michael's.
No, that was real.
Jogging. What do you mean it was real? She made it up.
No, that documentary is so good. Maybe the one with the kids, but
Right.
the jogging was real.
Oh.
Oh, wait.
No,
No.
both were fake. Sherry Papini faked her own
Oh, wait,
death
but
and
what's
got
the
with her
one where they
weird old
kidnapped
boyfriend.
the house. And remember, that one was real. And they said, no, they didn't tie you up.
Oh, that was the guy and girl that now are married.
That one's
That was
so riveting.
American.
Oh, the couple. Right.
The American
That's right.
something.
Like they
Horror
put him through
nightmare or
hell and
whatever.
never
Yeah,
looked for
American
her.
Nightmare. American Nightmare.
Right.
The Petaluna mom who went to Michael's
That's right.
Oh.
and then got in her car and did a video that went viral where she said, this couple was following me around Michael's and they were trying to steal my kids. And luckily an elderly man stopped it and this whole story. And I remember the minute I saw it, I called bullshit. And then I found out that she didn't even film that immediately after the supposed attempted kidnapping. She went in her car hours later and did it. And then they found out the couple was like, what? People saw the couple because then she called the police and the police were like, do you, who are these people? And there's just this couple walking through Michael's and they're like, that woman's a teacher or whatever. They were pillars of the community, this couple that had grandkids that had been around forever, but they were Mexican. And so then that was a big thing. Why are you saying this? Whatever. And she did get, I don't know how it ended, but she can be on the show.
Yeah.
You know who else can be on the show? I have
Scamantha.
cancer.
Scamantha.
Yeah.
Scamanda.
But then all the people who have cancer, we have Scamanda.
We have
and then
Scamanda
there's
and then
other one.
from Grey's Anatomy, the writer from
Oh,
Grey's
the lesbo.
Anatomy.
And then also the other one, apparently she's lesbian. We haven't watched it yet, but I saw that and that was just how embarrassing for us. And then, my mother always, if it's anyone Jewish that ever does a crime, my mother's like, they're Jewish.
She's more
Awful.
ashamed.
Yeah, she's more ashamed.
Yeah, you should
so
be.
I'm just
yeah.
great, this fucking lesbian giving it, how dare she? So also the one from 90 Day Fiancé who said that she had cancer and they had the GoFundMe and they raised all the money and she never had any cancer. That one is amazing. That one I highly recommend people looking at.
The homeless, remember the couple that went
Homeless
and
guy.
the homeless guy gave
Good
her
one.
the $20.
And then did the GoFundMe because he was a former Marine.
Yep.
Yeah.
And gave him all of the money. And then it turned out he was like, where's my money? And they took it.
He was gross and they were gross, so they can all be in there.
They can all
because
be in there.
none of them are friends now.
Yeah, all of them are
They were all
horrible.
in on it
Yeah.
together.
That's so good.
It's great.
I love this show.
Yeah, and the thing is, you find out in the TV show what the follow-up was, if they did any crimes, if they had to say they're sorry. And then they put them in challenges where
They have to
I love
pretend
it.
their best suicide. Like
yes,
that.
they have to, yes. And then even though they're supposed to be recovered, they still know the ways to do it, the ways to lie and fake things
fraud.
out.
Can there be one of the shows where just how in whatever shows it's the ex, we have a surprise, your ex is here or whatever. The victims of their crimes show, there's a whole thing of they're, you know what I mean? They have to deal with the people they stole
Face
money
them,
from,
yeah.
or they have to face them.
Well, do you remember when Olivia Newton-John's boyfriend went missing
Yes.
and he wasn't missing?
Mm-hmm.
Olivia Newton-John,
about
rest in
that.
peace. She had this kind of cute, rugged, he was Indonesian or Asian or something. He went on a fishing trip and they were he's missing. And then they're he's not. And we're why would you try to escape Sandy from Greece?
Why?
What's wrong with
What
you?
is-
Didn't it go on
What
for
is
weeks?
literally
I
wrong with
have
you? It went
not
on for
thought about this,
years.
Heather. That
No,
dread.
that went for years.
That is unreal, you guys.
I don't
why
even,
would you even
I
hide
think
from America's sweetest angel on the planet?
I think she passed never knowing the real truth. Like, why? Why did you do that?
We have to look it up because I think that before she died,
I hope
they
he
found
was
out.
like escaping some financial thing,
I
and
think that is
not
what it
just
was.
because she like bugged the shit out of him. I hope
That's
it was
what it was.
something
Olivia
else.
Newton-John. I mean,
It was like, was he running from organized crime
I
of
thought
some
it was
sort?
something with I thought it was something with money.
Yeah.
Because I thought they found out before she died. It was like a whole thing. We have to look that up.
But
mean,
how
the other-
embarrassing though for these kids that this is like the people in school are like, you know, at least my dad didn't pretend to drown kayaking.
And go to Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
Like that is awful.
And why do
But
people
again,
who
I would-
kayak always look like that? Right?
Yeah,
Guys
yes.
who kayak look like that.
You're right. But he does Ironmans too.
And it's just like, you're like, there's no way dad drowned.
But also, can I just ask him, if I was in a room with him, I'd just ask him, like, or out of curiosity, it's like going through the crime that you planned. You gave the family the $375,000 life insurance plan. You clearly planned this entire thing out. I'm going to go. You're talking to your girlfriend. She's like, when are you going to jail? You're going to come to the biggest I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to the kayak. I'm going to put it. You never thought in your head, you're going to use your new passport to travel, which is literally the thing that we all use to track when we travel. So we can all easily see that you're not dead.
Also,
I don't understand.
They
also,
didn't see
he's
right away.
never met her. She could be catfishing.
Oh my God.
She could be a dude, or
I hope she is.
or she could be using someone else's photos.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope
And
that's what's
now
happening.
he has to crawl back. And
Or he'll get killed.
This episode is brought to you by No CD. When people joke about, oh, I'm a little OCD, I wish they knew what it's really like to live with OCD, because it's nothing like the stereotypes about having to be super neat, tidy, and organized. OCD is a serious condition that can become totally debilitating. The thoughts can feel so real that seeking help can seem like a huge risk. It can feel like there's nothing you can do. But it doesn't have to stay that way, because OCD is highly treatable with the right kind of care. And that's why I want to tell you about No CD. With No CD, you can do virtual therapy with a licensed therapist who specializes in OCD, so they understand what you're going through and know how to help. No CD therapists are trained in exposure and response prevention, or ERP. It's a type of therapy that was specifically designed for OCD. No CD also accepts many major insurance plans and offers always-on support between sessions, so you're never alone. To learn more about therapy with No CD, go to nocd.com and schedule a free 15-minute call with their team. That's nocd.com to learn more and book a free 15-minute call. It feels like every celebrity has easy access to GLP-1s right now, right? But what about us regular people? Now you don't need to be rich and famous in order to get access to these medications. Through Hers, you can get an affordable weight loss program personalized just for you. Hers is changing women's healthcare by providing you with access to affordable weight loss treatments. Their holistic approach gives you access to personalized solutions like GLP-1 weekly injections that have the same active ingredients as Ozempic and Wegovy, and oral medication kits. Through Hers, weight loss plans are more affordable, with compounded GLP-1 injections starting at $199 per month with a 12-month subscription paid upfront, no hidden fees, and no membership fees. Start your free online visit today at forhers.com/juicyscoop. That's forhers.com/juicyscoop for your personalized weight loss treatment options. forhers.com/juicyscoop. Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
When did this occur?
This is happening right now.
Oh, so this is, he's catfished. That's a man in a basement. That's
Or he
emailing
got,
him.
or he's somewhere, or once he reached out and said, I'm on my way to this country, then that person just never answered him back. Like they already got a couple thousand and they're like, oh, fuck, I can't meet him because my name is, Hakasu or whatever. And it's a man.
Yeah.
Or a girl that's not cute, or whatever, not the photo that she gave him.
Right.
Definitely
So
not.
now he's just probably like, how can I ever come home? I'm just going to have to hang in a foreign country for the rest of my life. And because I'm 54 and I don't have any money, he's just going to have to do manual labor or
Yeah, he's going to be absorbed into the Russian army. They're going to find him in Ukraine. He's going to have to go. He's fucked. I mean, he is royally.
What a loser
He
tool.
deserves everything
And I
that's
feel
coming to
bad
him.
that it's coming out because now the family has to probably give life insurance back.
Oh my God.
Well, I don't think they got it yet because that would probably have to be a year before they give it to you.
Oh, okay.
But so those were the two. That was the nice thing they did. Was one, not kill her.
Yes.
And
that was a
pretend like
great call.
she was kayaking. He could have taken her kayaking
Yep.
and capsized it and held her underwater and been like, my wife is drowned. And
could've
then
killed the kids,
faked
too.
a whole thing and then just still left the kids or brought the Russian out here and put her on 90 Day Fiancé, all
Yep.
while they think their mom drowned in kayaking and they're dealing with this Russian weirdo. That could have happened. So thank God that didn't happen.
Yes.
And then he did the nice thing by like, I'll make sure they have a couple $100,000 to like live off of when I'm having fun in Russia with my girl.
Because it's so fun there.
So
Somehow
fun.
it all comes back to 90 Day Fiance. You know what I mean? That was the demise of this guy.
How hard, how horrible, how much you hate your kids, your 3 kids, and your wife to move to Uzbekistan. I don't know. We don't know that much about, but I can tell you this. We've been to Russia. It's like going
Isn't that
to
where
North
what's
Korea.
his name
But
hangs
that's
out
what
in
it
the
is. That's
Why
wrestling
how
are
he
you
scene?
does-
going there?
This is like what I talk about in my act. Like some men are just so, all you have to do is give them a compliment and they're like, oh, this is where it's at. Like this is where it's at. This is the girl for me. It's not my wife of 22 years. It's not my 3 kids. And it's not a life in Wisconsin.
No, I'm going to go live in a place that's run by
Because
a full
she's that
authoritarian.
beautiful. And because we've had phone sex or something and she said my penis was like no other.
Your penis is like no other penis. I've never seen it. No man in Uzbekistan has penis like you have. It's so wonderful, beautiful penis. It's like
That's it. I'm faking my own death. I'm never going to see my family again.
Oh, I can't live without your penis.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, what about that? There was that person that was a man who made his voice into a woman's, like an agent.
Oh,
And
that's the
people,
that's the con queen.
Yeah.
That's the most
Queen of the
Queen of the
cons.
cons.
I mean, I don't care how
For those
the
who
pan is,
don't
we don't
know,
know who this
that
person
that's
is.
a doc too, and
It's so
that's
good.
Queen of the Con, and that was about how this person played on all these people kind of either wanting to break into the entertainment industry or being sort of like below the line, like
Yep.
a stunt person, a photographer, a location person, and they really wouldn't even get that much money for them, but it was the runaround that this person would get off on,
Yep.
making the relationship of the person on the other end being so excited that they're finally going to have a job in Hollywood, and it was all bullshit. And
Yep.
then sometimes that person who was a man would act like a woman and then like have phone sex
Yeah.
with like some male stunt person.
Yeah. That's how come you don't know who.
That was like my friend Theron that I met, who would
Theron.
he was a black gay guy who
Yes.
I met out in Manhattan Beach.
Uh-huh.
And I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. And he was just real funny. You know, I like hit it off with him. And then he told me that he would go up to hot, tall volleyball playing guys in Manhattan Beach and say, this is really going to age this story because this is like pre-2000. Already this was out of style, but he said, do you want,
I work for Von Dutch.
I need you to be in a Pointer Sisters video.
Not a
We
Pointer
are
Sisters
family.
I mean, they don't even sing that.
They're all
That's
dead.
They don't sing
By
that?
the way, they're all
Sister
dead.
Sledge.
Whatever, Pointer
They
Sisters.
sing Jump
He
and-
did know the Pointer
Yeah.
Sisters. Somehow they took him in. I found him to be funny too.
So there
And
was some.
There
like,
was a real
connective tissue.
connection, but
Okay.
there was never going to be a video or anything.
Neutron dance.
Then he would get the
So good.
number of the guy, and then he did a really good girl's voice, and he would call them and act like a drunk girl who just came across his number while she's drunk in the closet drinking mimosas after doing a body glove bikini photo shoot. And then she would say she was half Irish, half black, and then have phone sex with them.
So his whole thing was
That
to
is
get off
amazing.
with making these guys have phone sex with him?
Yeah, first
Well, he also just
first
actually
he would-
physically got off.
First, he would
while
get the
having phone sex.
number to be
Right,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
you
Yeah.
know, here's an acting or modeling or a video job.
Right, I get
Then
it.
he
yeah.
would never call back about Pointer Sisters.
Yeah.
Then he
As
would
Theron.
act like he was the girl that and so then I would be like, I would be going out to 12th Street in Manhattan Beach, and I would be like, and this is just like the straightest, whitest, like I'd walk into a sea of just like hot, cute guys. But then Theron would be there as like my gay, funny, like, and we would and we'd drink and he'd have this funny laugh. And then he'd be like, I fucked him, meaning on the phone. And I was like, this is so fun because and I mean, there was literally like
they
think a body glove model just got drunk on
it.
mimosas, and you know what? I'm so horny.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I'm so horny. It's like you're so dumb. I'm glad
that's
you got
what I'm saying.
fleeced.
These men are so dumb.
There's nothing that makes me happier than when a man gets sexually harassed. I mean, I
tricked.
Anything sexual, because that's how they. I want them to have all of it. I want them to get all of it. I love it.
That is hilarious.
Theron, I wish you were on Dancing with the Stars.
Keep fighting the good fight. Yeah, you got to live in the house. We'll track him down. He's not going to be hard to find. He'll live in the house.
He can host it.
I haven't talked to him in a long time. He did reach out to me after I was on Chelsea Lately. And I was like, oh, thank you. I'm doing great. Whatever. Ooh. He had moved away, though. He left LA.
Theron Pointer, host of
I did pick him up, though, at the one of the Pointer sisters' house. He was staying there. And it was a house just off of Laurel, and took him to the Comedy Store to watch me. When I needed 2 people to see me before.
Bring your show.
I'd be like,
that's amazing.
I'm taking you. You could, but none of the comedians. No, those ugly things weren't his type. He was like, let's go to Manhattan Beach for me to find my next victim. I need a tall white volleyball.
I love that he got the hot
That's so
guys.
Great.
And in the show when I fake my own crime or whatever, you can have a mole in there, or like a Theron. You could have a mole who's then now doing it to all of them and see who falls for it.
Yes. Okay. So China Phillips and Billy Baldwin opened up and said, we basically live separately, but we're not breaking up. We still get together and hang out, but then when we feel like we've had enough of each other's energy, the other one goes to the other house. And, we heard about sleep divorces. We hear about this. I appreciate the honesty. It kind of reminds me of what's going on with Kyle. Is she with Morgan or not? Because Kyle also said in recent interviews, because Beverly Hills is coming back, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they said, why aren't you filing for divorce with Mauricio? And she's like, because it's fine. We have separate houses. We talk on the phone every day. We're still a family. Hey, she doesn't care that he dates people. I guess he doesn't care that she does. The kids all know they have all these businesses and homes and stuff. So they're just not doing it. But what pissed me off in this other round of interviews, which I sent to you guys, is it's like she's still not answering the question. So she says, well, I had to have a really hard conversation with my 4 amazing daughters about stories about what they were seeing in the news. She never says Morgan. She said there were just stories in the news and people talking about it. And then I realized, wow, this is so foreign to me. This is never how I grew up thinking. And so I had to sit down with them and be like, I'm thinking about this stuff because it's out in the news. And what do you guys think of it? And they just said, we want you to be happy, Mom.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on? And what? Are you doing the lickety splits or not, Kyle? Shut up. That was. So basically, you could interpret it as one way, which is these stories were out there, but I never did anything with her. I'm still straight. But I've milked it out for 2 years for a storyline so that I have something interesting. And in the process, I helped Morgan's career get her known. Also, they did some documentary coming out together. I got to be in that music video where she was feeding me strawberries. I'm going to make you love me, but I'm still not going to tell you. And I guess when she was on Kelly and what's her husband's name?
Mark.
Kelly and Mark, Rippo, whatever. They must be told you can only push this question so far because I can't believe these interviewers aren't like, so are you gay or not? Are you bi? Did you have a little thing with Morgan, but now you're just friends? Just fucking tell us. And of course,
she saving it for the next season of Beverly Hills? What are we doing?
I don't know. And then I'm like, well, of course your daughters are going to be supportive. We were saying on the phone yesterday, I'm like, of course. Portia's 14, probably half of her class is non-binary at a private school in LA. No one's going to be like, you know what, Mom? If you're even thinking about being gay, you're not our mother anymore. It's not. She's like, I was so impressed and shocked that they'd act that way. No. Now, if you told Big Kathy, if she was still living, your mother, who would have been 85 right now, if you told her you were gay after she shipped you guys off to get married to all the richest young men in LA that had billions of dollars in a trust fund, if you were to tell that woman, I think I'm gay, and she was like, that's great, honey, that would be surprising and great. But it's your daughters. One thing I love about Rocket Money is they just alerted me that there was an increase in a subscription price. And I looked at it and I was like, I don't know if I'm that into that anymore. That's what I really love. Managing finances can feel complicated and time-consuming, right? But it doesn't have to be with Rocket Money. It simplifies everything, making it so easy to see exactly what's happening with your finances, track your spending, and give you full control of all of it right from your phone. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/juicy. That's rocketmoney.com/juicy, rocketmoney.com/juicy.
And it was framed as a sex conversation. I had to have this frank conversation with my daughters about sex. And it's like, as if one single one of them is like, what? Women getting together?
How does that work, Mother?
Mother, I don't understand what happens when women get together. How are they? Who puts what where, Mother? I also think
we just want you to be happy, Mother. You know, Mauricio, if Mauricio and Dorit can be happy together, just kidding, then you deserve to be happy together too. Yes.
Also, she doesn't even need to come out as anything. At the end of the day, whatever happened here, if you believe it happened or not, that doesn't. You know, her sexuality is fluid. She finds herself doing this. Who knows? It could be a one-off. It could be the one time, and then that's it.
She just
doesn't.
I don't think
that is annoying.
I don't think they're together, and I don't even think they may have ever done anything together. I think that it was fun, and she liked her, and then she is.
They're just a constant troll?
She is Paris Hilton's aunt. She has been on reality TV for 15 years. She probably saw that she and was like, we're going to go out and hang out, and I'm just going to see what's going to happen. We're going to, see, let people talk, see what happens, because she now says Morgan isn't in the show this season. She does because it was too much paparazzi, too much following around, and that's really not Morgan. So now Morgan got famous, and I believe she is talented and likable, and she's had a good tour. And now she can just goodbye.
Well, in that case, I mean, I would think that whether or not they hooked up for real and had full-blown lesbo sex, I think that Morgan was probably in love with her, and now that they're not. I don't think Morgan was ever in love with her. I think you just get together like that, you become super, super close, and then you're just gone?
No, I think that they probably still talk and stuff, but just like any friendship, I don't think it's as close. I think they hung out a lot, and I think they had frank conversations, whether in bed or on the phone. This is kind of behooving both of us to hang out.
Oh, so you think it was like a total...
transactional.
I think it was transactional.
I think it could have been. Okay. I think they also could have had some fun for a couple months and then just remained friends.
If it was
but
transactional,
she's not part of it anymore.
I do think that it will, though, turn on Kyle. Because I did see I would put it a top tier tweet where someone reposted the article about her frank talk about sex with her daughters, how she was dreading it. And someone said, this is the most boring coming out story I've ever heard.
Yes.
And I'm like, people are going to start to turn on you, dog. You should have at least stayed friends, or because they were doing their FaceTimes. And I thought it was, quite frankly, I thought it was boring on the show. And I didn't really get their friendship.
Right.
I was more interested in Dorit being jealous and all that. And more interested in her and Mauricio at the bar. And she's drinking like the Corona, no alcohol. And I'm like, or whatever, her mocktails. But
then at least just fake and say you were curious. And you at least have to say, you have to expose, she's not exposing anything.
Or
I was curious, just
say what it is.
But I just wasn't into it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
we were more than friends at one time, but now we're good. No, you're not going to ever tell us, which you don't have to tell us everything.
No, that's true.
But we also can be annoyed by your these interviews, and you did like 7 of them yesterday, and they were all saying the same thing, which was nothing.
Yeah, but if you're going to
That's the annoying part.
You're going to put yourself out. And you're gonna and tease us with the sexuality of it all, and then not even give. I mean, just at least give. Like I said, I was curious. She did pique my interest. I thought to myself, "Can I do this?" And I just I couldn't. Whatever. I'm sure a lot of
Or
people
I
feel
am
that
open.
way.
I know,
Yeah,
I'm
good.
open to whoever walks in my life, whatever it
Why
might
not?
be. But
I mean, she
your
said
job is to expose everything, and if you wanted to keep this secret, you very easily could have.
1
You
million
did not
%.
need to be walking around.
No. And Morgan doesn't look too
like,
mad at the paparazzi
Yeah,
in that photo.
you didn't need to be walking
No,
around
she
like
doesn't. I don't think
Wayne's World
Morgan's-
and
No.
on Rodeo Drive and going to Starbucks.
private
and,
jet.
And and you didn't need to be going to La Quinta and all these other places and going on a girls trip together, which she was in, and sitting on her lap and posting it.
Right.
Like, if you didn't want, like, I've hung out with somebody where I'm like, I'm not going to post this because it might hurt my other girlfriend's feelings, since there was just 4 of us and I don't want her to feel bad. You don't have to post. Nobody would have known you were on a private jet sitting on her lap.
That's right.
So,
No, and then we had to
That's what
see
I'm saying.
then we had
Yeah.
to see Teddi sitting there bugging on too.
Yeah.
In that same photo.
It's very provocative. You can't deny the provocativity of it. That you are, and listen, we get it. You know what I mean? You when you present as a lesbian and you're with somebody who does not, questions arise.
Right.
And especially when they then do start presenting as a lesbian, as in this photo.
Exactly. And now you're changing and you're doing things that are unlike you characteristically before. When you stay the same people, you then, are living your truth and you are friends. And you're
Remember when she was like, I could see myself doing it when they all had to do that dumbass game that they do on every dinner.
I was like, have you ever... Hold on. Okay, we're going to play a fun sex game. Like, after it's like, who likes it up the butt and who did it?
Oh, yeah. And when was the last time you had sex? And then everyone goes around and lies.
Right. It's like, I had anal 2 days ago. Like, then it's like, have you ever been with another woman? And then it's like, no. And then it's like, well, I've thought about it. It's like, well, clearly you have. Even if it's just that you thought about it. There's nothing wrong with any of it.
But who hasn't thought about it?
Well, then just say it.
But I think everybody on earth has thought about it.
Of course, and you watch the porn.
People lie about it left, right, and center.
You know who will lie about it? Caroline Manzo. No, she's
I would
not gonna...
I would never do that. It's disgusting.
Okay, so then we know that Teddi has also filed for divorce. And now the news is out because other people are writing about it. So you can look it up. Why did Teddi get divorced? And it's there. So now I'm going to tell you because it's out. So the alleged rumor is that she was having an affair with either her horse trainer or the horse trainer that trains her daughter, who also rides horses. And it's a very small community. And allegedly, this guy is married with kids, and his wife found out, and there was a fight that happened in front of witnesses, and therefore people knew and were talking. And somehow then Edwin found out the day before, then she posted that we're getting divorced. So I'm assuming, we all had a photo in our mind of what we thought this hot horse trainer might look like. Just like someone who cheats with her husband with the tennis instructor.
I think I remember you specifically saying man bun.
I did.
Milady.
Because I did.
You said long hair, and then Heather took it to man
so
bun.
then I got sent what I'm 99% sure is the person, which I will not be sharing the name or the photo. I'm sure somebody else will, maybe even before this airs.
Okay.
But in my opinion, shocking as far as looks go, not a hot guy that you throw away your marriage for. Her husband, in my opinion, Edwin, was very attractive. This guy is nowhere in his league. But then you'd say, but God, Heather, why are you being such an elitist? So what if he's not cute? So what if he's just a horse trainer? Maybe they really had a connection. That's fine, but he was married, and also allegedly, he is like a serial cheater. So this has been happening, allegedly.
Like he fucks his way through the stables.
Yes. So I'm also like, oh my God, girl. Like, really? So then just like the kayak guy, you fell for it. You fell for some guy who was fishing, and you caught the fish. Maybe because you were in an unhappy marriage. Maybe because there's been lots of problems for the last 13 years. That's fine. But
The fish has gum disease.
But I'm going to say, as like, wow, you should have thought about it again. You're a public figure. Yeah, this guy, when you say that's a horse trainer, you're going to be like, wow, you look like who you train. I'm just saying, it's just interesting. And just because I thought, oh, she just got some hot guy that she just could. And like I said, maybe they have so much in common and there's such a soul connection. And maybe they're going to go off and everyone happily gets divorced and co-parents and they have Thanksgiving together next year and they ride horses in the wind. And she gets to come back on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But for me as a woman who saw this laid out, I was like, God, you're dumb.
Cautionary tale.
Cautionary tale.
God, you're dumb. And also, if you're a public figure, then don't fuck around. Just break up. If you cannot control yourself while you're about to go leap the thing on the horse, and you're seeing this guy, and the chemistry's so crazy, just at least separate from your husband. Tell your audience, I'm separating from my husband, and then that way, when you can take up with him, and the audience won't give you any grief because they'll be like, well, she was separated.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I think this, knowing nothing about the man, just having seen the photo and read some articles of, the training of the Mellencamp children and her, because she was on a horse in one of the articles. Mm-hmm. I think what he does, what his game is, and I think this works perfectly on her because she is a very basic bitch. And that's just a fact. I'm not even going to say it. It's my opinion. I think that he acted disinterested, and he had
her husband. You mean?
No, I think the guy that she got with.
Oh,
I think he acted disinterested at the horse place. I think he had an attractive wife, not unsimilar looking to her, and she's very beautiful. But she has whatever massive, debilitating insecurity she has.
Teddi,
yeah. And we've seen it come out, and that sucks. And I definitely relate to that. But she's so basic bitch about it, and she's so thirsty that it just takes one person to be like, I don't notice your beauty.
Yeah, you're gorgeous.
And she's like, what? Or not even give her that. And suddenly she's clamoring for it. Like, he doesn't think I'm gorgeous. And now that it starts to like turn her on and turn her on and turn her on until he's got to have some game if he's banging his way through the stables, because the
game is not the face,
right,
or the body.
He's got a psychological thing he's doing.
It's just such a warning because when you're married, and especially at this age, I do feel like this is the age that people step out or get divorced. It's for a woman, it's between 38 and 43. It's a sweet spot. You're feeling hot. You're scared you're almost not going to be hot in 5 years. So you start, and then your kids are older. And I mean, I remember seeing it at like the Halloween carnivals in the schools. And I started to see like people that were married and flirting with just being a little flirty, just seeing like, again, fishing. What Starbucks do you go to after drop off? And then the guy shows up
and you're also at games and
yes,
events
it just
of
starts
older
to happen.
Kids.
And I'm just saying to guys and girls that might be listening to this Juicy Scoop or this Juicy Scoop episode, do not fall for it. You're not special. It's not special. They are fishing. They are seeing. You probably are one of many. But this attention that you feel is been void in your marriage for probably quite a while by the time you even consider stepping out. Do not throw your life away. Also, because if you do get divorced and there was another person involved, you are going to have a much more contentious breakup, fighting, custody battle. Everything will be way worse than if you just went to your spouse. I'm not happy. We're not happy. Let's get divorced. He could still be awful or she could still be awful. But when it's you were screwing the Little League coach or your personal trainer or the horse trainer or the whatever, or the other dad at school. God.
And it happens.
And guys, don't screw the nanny. Don't be such a lazy fuck.
No.
Step outside the home.
And off your street.
Yes.
Like suddenly Carol next door was looking good and it's like, no. You're going to need to go down the block.
Yeah. And really, you really think
go to Uzbekistan.
That your second soulmate just happened to be right. The room mom in 4A at the school.
Right.
Like, no.
Mm-mm.
It's just because it's in front of you and your life is boring.
Yes.
I blame Andy Cohen. I do. Because I think if he would have kept her on the show, maybe she would have gotten divorced, but she would have not been with the horse trainer because she would have been too public. And they would have been filming there, and he would have been like, I'm staying away from that.
Was there a situation with him? I mean, are we just...
She mentioned... Somewhere I remember her alluding to the fact that early in their marriage there was something that happened, and she just mentioned it recently.
He cheated?
Yeah, and I remember thinking, that's weird. If it was 13 years ago, why would you mention it now? But now I think she was trying to remind herself, him, and the world, I am fucking up right now, but I wasn't the first to do it.
And also, she was caught. They were caught, like in one of the rumors and innuendos we've been given that they're
talking about the husbands.
That maybe they were caught, and then like a fight broke out, like whether it was physical or verbal, like at the stables.
Yeah.
So my question is, would she have in her mind, like, eventually we're going to end this and we're going to stay married and we're not going to say anything? I don't think she was going to leave him. I don't know. I mean,
who knows? Maybe. Someone said that she slipped recently on her show and said, well, we're all single, when she was talking to like Erica Jane. So maybe there was talk, and maybe, because also recently, she is, a survivor of skin cancer, and she was speaking at some big event. And Edwin was there, and they posted photos of them kissing and everything. And then he wrote something really nice about her. So I'm thinking he didn't know what was up.
No.
And I think maybe she was just having her fun and wasn't planning on it getting out, and not planning on telling him, and kind of seeing like, where will this go? Maybe this is maybe I had an itch and this was able to scratch it, and maybe I'm able to compartmentalize it and go forward just like he cheated. I don't know. People are different. People have open marriages. People cheat and they stay with their person. Women know that their husbands have the whole mistress thing going on, and they're like, I don't care. Like, everybody has a different thing. But then when you're a public person, then you have to know that people are going to talk and judge and question your motives and everything
that could have been 13 years of resentment came out, and she was and never dealt with it, never truly,
right.
Like people do that too, where you stay but you didn't really deal with it. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm going to fuck him over now.
And I guess there's some prenup that he has the money, which I did not realize. He's quite successful. He's insisting that the prenup be honored. So we
better work, Edwin.
We will see. Well, the good news is
go ahead and go on 2 T's and go get your coins.
The good news
Teddi.
is that Edwin and Eddie, Tamra's husband, they have 2 Eds in a pod. And so as long as that continues, the world will be fine. She can get a portion of that and do just fine. She'll be his boss forever.
I mean, just a juggernaut of
like
talent.
that, like as if that's going to continue with the divorce happening. Real Housewives of New York, the new cast. Word on the street, everyone just says it's like the boringest thing ever. I did not watch it, but I did see a clip. And in it, I was like, oh, well, now this seems kind of juicy. Where Aaron tells Bryn and this other girl that Rebecca Minkoff, who is the handbag designer and stuff, who's also Jewish but an active Scientologist, but she's barely been in the show. And all Bryn does is go, is she selling more bags at Nordstrom Rack? I'm going to date your dad. And she's like, well, I built $100 million business. And so I'm happy to be at Nordstrom's Rack. Like, where's your bags, you fucking idiot? Anyway, so then I see this clip, and Aaron goes, well, Rebecca is pregnant. And she's very sensitive because she's pregnant. And they're like, what? Bryn's like, what? Oh my God. And then she goes, and she doesn't know who the dad is. And she's married or whatever. She's like 4 little kids. Like, she just finished breastfeeding and she's pregnant again. And I was like, well, wow. Like, maybe the show is going to get good. Wow. Like, this is like Mia on Potomac, who doesn't know who the father is of her 9-year-old. Like, well, like, is it her ex-boyfriend or her husband, Gordon? Like, so I was like, all right, like, this is trashy, but maybe good.
Is she not
anyway,
married?
It was a prank.
Oh, no. No, don't be doing
That I guess
No.
I did not watch it, but I guess Aaron and maybe Rebecca Minkoff said, "Oh, you should say I'm pregnant."
That's just stupid.
That's lame.
And then
That's like finding out the movie was all a dream and you're just so pissed.
Or the whole season of the last season of Roseanne or whatever. Like she never really did win the lottery.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Okay, so, but it is weird because just yesterday when the show aired is when people dropped the fact that Erin, who came up with the funny prank, is actually pregnant with her fourth child.
Yeah.
And I just think, come on, you guys, like pregnancy pranks and things when your audience is 90% women who struggle to get pregnant, want to get pregnant, don't want to be pregnant, have miscarriages, IVF, like really lying that you're...
And you're that hard up for anything. Like, why don't you try getting actual friends who are
Can
in
I
a
just
fight?
say right now, April Fools, please, no pregnancy. Please don't.
Certainly not right now.
Don't lie.
I think now's not the time.
Yeah, don't.
I think now's not the time.
Yes, I agree.
I think let's read the room and not be
Yeah.
doing funny jokes about somebody getting pregnant and then,
Yeah.
okay, now's not the time. Okay.
So anyway, the show is pretty dismal.
Well,
But
hopefully she gets to stay on and she can show up next year to BravoCon in her underwear.
And her bumps.
Yeah, she can wear her underwear
Erin,
with her pregnancy belly.
She
Like
is
lady.
pretty and she does look good.
Yeah,
with her
she is really pretty.
Yeah, with her belly and she's cute, but whatever. And also her whole storyline this year is that she's telling her husband Abe, I could do a lot better than you. I used to go on private jets and I'm mad at you because you sold our Bitcoin without telling me. So, you got to keep up with what I could have married.
Because she comes from money, right?
No, she don't come from that much money, but she basically is having conversations with her husband, basically saying, do better. Like he was like, I'm sorry. And she's like, don't say you're sorry, do better. And it was just like, so then so you're watching it thinking, okay, they're probably going to get divorced. But now she's pregnant. And when she was on my show a year ago, she said how great their marriage was, that they boned all the time and everything. And then I'm watching this where she's being such a bitch, reminding him like she used to get hotter, richer guys. So now I think this show has nothing. There's their lack of personality, their lack of storyline. They have no history. So I think they know whether it's with a producer or themselves. Like maybe the producer was like, have you ever fought with your husband? Yeah, about a year ago, I was pissed about the Bitcoin being sold. All right, bring it up at lunch.
Ugh.
Let's watch a fight and all this stuff. And then I'm sure they have other fun moments, but those aren't going to make it. So they're only going to film when he like accidentally spills coffee on her. And she's like, really, Abe? And now we find out she's pregnant. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Boring.
No.
Boring.
Fake.
Boring.
Well, here we go. Megan Fox is pregnant, and she announced her pregnancy to Machine Gun Kelly's baby. They are on again, off again, engaged, whatever. She has 3 kids with Brian Austin Green. And this is what she posted, which was just her naked body with black tar spilled on her or whatever, black paint. And then I went to her page. She has 21.6 million followers, following 0, and only has 1 post. So this is a dramatic thing that she did with her Instagram. Like, I'm cleaning it. It's a fresh start now that I'm, soaking in black tar and I'm pregnant naked with Machine Gun Kelly. Like, you guys stopped talking about me about 6 months ago, and guess what? Now you're going to have to talk about our little devil baby or whatever they're going to do with it. And
she had a miscarriage, and so she wrote this thing that's everywhere, like rainbow baby, and I'm like, is it gay? I don't get it. I didn't know that was a term, but now I know. But she had a miscarriage, and I thought what she wrote, I don't know if it was on this black tar thing, but at some point,
here it is. She just wrote, nothing is ever really lost.
Yeah, I think that's so beautiful. Like, I think there was one more line after it, like, I already love you, or I don't even know, but it's like going through a miscarriage is obviously horrific.
Obviously. And they have been together a long time, whether it's tumultuous, whether they never get married. I met them where did I meet them? The weekend of Coachella, or Stagecoach. And he really was a delight. He was really, really nice. I said, I listen to your music all the time. It's like my inspirational music before I go out on stage. And she had the blue hair, and she was nice. She's a little more reserved, but nice. But I was talking to him. And So she's 38, he's 34. He has a 15-year-old daughter from a first relationship. And but apparently he and Brian Austin Green allegedly don't get along.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah.
That is an annoying relationship to have to witness. They are a lot.
Yeah. So we'll see. Okay. But I also just came across Tinsley Mortimer, and I just want to say, what a happily ever after. I think this is the best happily ever after of I left a Real Housewives franchise on my own accord, and this is what happened. She had those frozen embryos or eggs, not even embryos. She had frozen eggs where she and her mom cried about it. Dorinda was like, where'd you go? You stick a turkey base strip there and try to get pregnant? Really awful. She had the coupon king that fucked her over too.
He was disgusting.
She left and Dorinda was all pissed at the final.
Because she didn't show up to the reunion. It was so baller.
Was it the reunion or the final? Yeah, the final night and the reunion.
So great.
She didn't come.
Was like
she was like,
star.
I'm out, and she meets this adorable, cute guy who has 3 kids, who's a widower,
and she's got these little kids.
So she has twin daughters now, and a cute boy. And I went through like her photos. And she's super active mom, and it is like it's literally a Hallmark movie.
That's amazing.
It's a Hallmark movie,
and she gets to be rich too.
And they appear to be very rich.
Ugh. Slow clap.
Slow clap for
Slow
Tinsley.
clap for Tinsley. Slow clap for justice.
I hung out with her.
The housewives, like, peace, get out of my business.
Good for her.
I'm tired of being treated like shit. Carol was like, I'm not even friends with her after Carol set her up with that gross
coupon
guy.
king.
That disgusting monster.
And she was so desperate to marry him because she just wanted the family. And sometimes, ladies, life's rejection is God's protection. Look what was waiting around the corner. And perfect, fabulous. And she is not, I don't know how often she posts. I mean, she just popped up. So I think she's just living her life, living her private, rich, fabulous mom life, and not, it's just the most ideal situation for everybody involved. And so good for her.
Great for her. The universe is always taking you where you need to go, right into taking care of dolls.
Reborn cosplay mom of many on TikTok. Now we've talked about these newborn babies, which are like they just want to have a baby. But I somehow came across this person who really takes it far. She's got like 6 kids. And she basically, just like a trad wife, will do videos of like, today I woke up, I got the twins ready, and then I made some applesauce from scratch, and then I made my husband's lunch, and then, my daughter said she really wanted homemade fruit roll-ups, so I did that. She's doing that, but with these dolls. And then she's like, and for those of you that are mad, I'm not wasting the food. I put it in front of them. Tomatoes. Like the other day, she made tomato soup and grilled cheese. Put it in front of them. She let one of them have screen time. So I'm not kidding. It's all. And recently she took him to the beach with her dad. 2 of the twins got to go to the beach and put their toes in the sand. And she does it all. And then she goes, but then I put the food back in the fridge, and that's like what I have for dinner. But I just want to have the experience of like making lunch for my kids.
And she said it's not real formula because people were like, you're wasting the formula.
Yeah. Now, this to me is, okay, I don't want to.
Heather just introduces us to such gross stuff that we never would see. She made us watch that weird doc about like masturbating.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah. Oh God.
That's part of the lawsuit when we break up.
Yeah, like the flicking of the finger. Oh God. Okay, so it's just like like that's the orgasm. That was like there was all these people like doing yoga, and then it's like like oh Jesus Christ, like please, I need a minute. So. This lady, it's like, okay, this is the prime example of, again, I mean, for me, I always, for whatever reason, I think like, what do men do? What do women do? Men, the opposite of this are the men who marry live dolls and have sex with live full dolls. And
they're not live.
It's all, or you know what I mean?
Wait,
like,
but before I interrupt, I'm going to interrupt. I'm just going to say that in the news over the weekend, Lamar Odom filmed him visiting his doll that he's having made. that the people, he didn't say it, but the people at home said it looks a lot like Chloe. So
Lamar Odom is making a sex doll
to keep.
Okay.
For himself.
Right.
That looks like Chloe.
That's, I mean, I can't. So, okay.
So continue. Go on.
Like that, but that's the prime example. Men's fantasies of whatever cosplay is always going to be sexual, and this woman's of having a family and having babies
and being busy.
And
they wake up early.
They wake up early. The level she is going into the minuteness of the nuance of life, and then showing the food. So she puts them all around the table, and she's like, "And Tina's having scrambled eggs," and I'm like, "Those look horrific." And then and she was like, "And there's some grilled cheese for you," and Mary has this, and then she put the dolls. And she then places the doll and changes their clothes. But now we have to go out because we're going to go out for the day. So right there, they're wearing pajamas because they woke up. But she does change their clothes.
Well, she has to. She's a mom.
I know, she's a mom.
She wouldn't even be able to make the scrambled eggs if they were real kids because they'd be bugging so hard. And they'd be screaming and yelling and running around. And, like, there's so many of them. It's like, you wouldn't be able to make all those different meals.
It makes me feel so weird, and I feel sad. And I don't feel that way with the sex dolls, even though I think it's gross and I hate them. But then I think that's like, feels just like, I don't know. I can't explain it. It made me feel bad. Like,
she just needs to go be a babysitter.
Well, she's a stay-at-home mom. So they don't go to daycare, and hopefully she's not.
Why isn't she a daycare? Why doesn't she go work with kids?
Just go be a babysitter.
Work in a hospital.
You get to do all cosplay.
Obviously, she probably couldn't. She probably can't because she's probably
mentally ill.
Yeah.
Like,
but
well,
at least she's not hurting anyone. At least
That's true.
She's not trying to steal a baby or befriend a pregnant woman and then tie her up and cut her out. Like I've seen those Lifetime movies and get the baby herself.
You're right.
So she likes that it's a doll. So on the other hand, let's commend her for not stealing a baby from a pregnant woman's womb.
Right.
Just like let's commend the guy for not killing his wife and instead faking his own death. You guys, the world is a scary place, and we have to look for the lesser of two evils.
You're absolutely right. And you know what? These kids have a great life.
They do.
They have a mom that loves them. She takes care of them. She makes them food. They have a grandpa.
They get to go to the beach.
Look, and you know what? She's to go to the beach. They sit around the table. She makes quality time for them.
The one looks like it's in a straitjacket, but
that's
just a photo.
I mean, this one has long hair and she's in a full high chair. That's fine. That's fine.
She's 7.
All those little girl children look like they're wearing long lady hair wigs, but it's fine. It's totally fine.
Okay.
And everyone should watch it. And I'll keep watching though.
Watch this space.
I mean,
Real Housewives. Okay, moving on. Real Housewives of OC. Then we're gonna wrap it up. Real Housewives of OC. I again saw a clip that will have aired tonight. Okay, of episode 2 of the reunion, and Jen is really holding her own. She's one of the newest girls, and she says to. This clip comes from
that set. Just
Bravo
gags.
by
it's so
Gays
good.
are the people that posted this. I don't know how they got it. How did they get the first 7 minutes of this? But anyway, I watched the first 7 minutes of the episode, and but I appreciate them posting. And so she says, Jen says to Heather, like, you even told me that you're not even real friends with Tamra after all these years when we went to lunch. And she goes, I did not say that, Jen. I did not say this. And then Jen's like, you did. You said that Tamra is a historic friend. She's a historic friend. They kept talking about historic friend. And then she's like, I would not say that. And the comments under here were like, that's totally something Heather would say. So then I looked it up and I figured what it was, but I said, what is the meaning of a historic friend? Because I'm like, there's histrionic, which means you're like, have a mental thing. And then there's historic. So I was like, am I mishearing? You've been friends since you were little and managed to stay friends through the years. You got used to each other, but most likely would not be friends if you met today.
Oh.
So all of our family.
Right.
Members.
Or like, you have this history. She has a history with Tamra from being on the show. They are work friends and they have a history because how many people on this earth have been through what they have been through. Very, very few. And half of them they hate, because they've been fired or whatever.
Right.
So they have this history. So I 100% believe that she said it to Jen.
Yeah.
And none of us are surprised at home. Like, you really think that Heather Dubrow would want to be hanging out with Tamra if there were not cameras around or about to start filming them again.
Doesn't even seem like that bad of a thing to say.
No,
It's not.
I don't know why she's.
Like,
I
I
did
don't know
not say that, Jen. That's how you know she said it.
Right. Like, why not? Yeah, why not just say, like,
You do have. What's the problem?
And but
I
at
would
this
say that-
point, it's not even that end of the
It's
world
not
to
even
say you
that
don't like
bad.
Tamra. It's actually kind of like a
right.
flex.
And I'm sure she did say, hey, look, we have our thing and we've been through a lot. So I see where she's coming from. She's a historical friend for me. So it's like we're always going to have a bond. It's probably what she said.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But this is where Heather will lose credibility because now it's too specific to be a lie. That's all I can say. Like historic friend, and everyone's like Googling it, like, that's a term I've never heard. Now
I would never. I would never. I mean,
And then she and Emily like went through the archives or got a detective or got Bo Dietl or something to go down in the new girl Katie's life. And Katie is divorced. And
which one's Katie and which one's Jen?
Katie's this pretty Korean girl who was adopted and then got married quite young because she got pregnant.
Okay.
And had three kids with that man. And clearly it was a bad divorce. And she hasn't shared everything, and she doesn't have to. And one of her minor kids still lives with the dad who's like 14, but she sees him all the time. And they go in and they're like, 10 years ago, there was a police report written about basically it sounds like a road rage thing might have happened with her and somebody else. I'm not going to get to the details. They tell the whole story on the reunion. She tells her side. And Emily, I'm an attorney and I want an espresso martini. And Shane knows because he finally passed the bar too that when you read a police report, cops don't lie. I'm like, excuse me? Like, okay. And so I don't know, but it's just not adding up. Why don't you tell the truth? And I'm like, if your goal, Heather and Emily, was to get this girl, Katie, not asked back for the second season, you just got her asked back because now I'm like, all right, I want to know a little bit more. Mm-hmm. What happened here? What is it? And why are they going after you so hardcore? And again, it's like this stuff is like either it was you said this on a podcast about my shoulders, and because of that, you're not a real friend. I said you were a historical friend. Just show us what we're actually seeing on film.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to know what happened 10 years ago before we even knew that you existed in a different state.
And that used to be the rule. Like if you didn't film it, you don't show it.
Right.
But now it's like, oh, you were on a podcast 6 months ago and you're fighting over. Remember, they'd always fight over the blogs they'd do. And
that's why I think they stopped doing it because they had to write that. And then so many of them would just hire someone to do it, which is basically them watching the episode and then writing their feelings about it. And so then there would be, and the only person I think wrote it themselves was Carol Radswell. Like she was the only one that would actually do it. Everybody else would get, because I remember one time Teresa, they called her on it and they're like, really? Did you really write this is like napalm? Like, I don't believe it, Teresa. Like if you don't even know what a chive is, then you don't know what napalm is. Like it's so like, and then she's like, what? And so then I think they were like, okay. And they all were happy to get rid of it because it was like an extra assignment, you know, and then it would get them in trouble.
Yeah.
But that was before podcasts. So now, that was, but at least that was like their own personal feelings, like a diary. It wasn't them being asked a provocative question on a live radio show, and then that's what we're following over and over and over again. Yeah. So very annoying, but kind of juicy. Anyway, to finish up the show.
Oh, God.
JoJo Siwa got to perform at Brown University. And JoJo will be with us when I, on Monday night, am hosting the American Reality TV Awards. And I'm very excited, and you guys are my guests.
Can't wait.
And JoJo Siwa, I believe, is a presenter, along with lots of other illustrious people in the reality TV world. And, according to Abby Lee Miller, she is a loyal delight. And I have to say, it looked pretty fun what she was doing here. She was doing Karma's a Bitch, and she's dancing around.
Karma's a bitch.
And they said,
I should have known better.
Yeah.
I can't remember the rest of the song.
And then they said, did your college host free JoJo concert? And then someone's like, it's not free. That's what you pay so much for. And I will say, some of my highest paychecks early in my career was when I performed at a college. And I was like, God, they don't have to pay people this much. They really don't.
They have.
And then no one would go.
I have the same experience.
Yep.
They have a budget. They have
to spend it. Otherwise, they won't get that budget again.
Right. So
next
they have
year.
to, and it's always exorbitant. It's always crazy, or it's super high, or it's super like weird. But for the most part, it's like this crazy amount of money, and then 3 people are in the audience because they don't go to anything because everyone's out. They don't care.
Or I remember I did it and I was like thinking, oh, I should talk about sororities and fraternities. I'm like, no, these kids loved my bits about just being a mom because they were just with their mom. Like they're young. The only people that go are like the freshmen, you know? Yep. The older people don't go.
Yep.
But yeah, good for her. So
good for her. Can't wait to see her live.
Absolutely. And then Britney Spears, she paid her last child support payment to Jaden's dad, K-Fed, and then he came to visit her, which is nice. And hopefully they'll hang out more. And then this video show came out from 2016 in which she talked about her conservatorship on a TV show years before it ended. And but the clip was edited out of the episode, and now it's just showing. So even back then, and she seemed very coherent, was like, well, now with the conservatorship, I have to do all these things I don't want to do. And creatively, I don't have a lot to say.
Wow.
So that was just kind of interesting. But I just hope that she hangs out with her son.
I hope the kids start treating her right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that they now can have just an adult relationship separate from
Yeah.
the dad and his money and going to school or whatever. Oh, my gosh. So, girls.
Yes.
You're here for a bit. We are going.
We're going to
we have such a fun weekend this weekend. We are going to the Vanderpump Dog Gala, which I've been many years. I think they do it every other year because I definitely didn't go last year, but I went 2 years ago. You guys are coming along with my sister, Yellow Flower Goldstein. And that'll be really fun. And then my thing on Monday. And what else have you going on in the Brandy and Julie Dumb Gay Podcast world?
Well, I mean, okay, so Dumb Gay Podcast is going to come back.
We don't know for sure.
Well, we don't know for sure, but obviously we have our Patreon and we have a regular podcast. The regular podcast is definitely delving into politics now. So we're going to be with humor, and for those people who think that they can't have a voice or whatever, or whatever it is, we are a liberal podcast, but we do try and sort of give it to everyone. Then there's our Patreon where we don't do any of that and we just do weird shit. We just do dumb shit. It's just funny.
Like
right?
this.
Yeah.
Like
we
this.
do like this.
But more of it. Yeah.
We do music. We do food tasting. We do all weird things. And it's just for fun. No issues.
Love it.
At all.
And they can find all that at
JulieandBrandy.com.
Yep.
Or just Google Julie and Brandy podcasts.
It's all
Julie
there.
And Brandy Patreon.
Join, sign up, change your life.
Yeah, change your life.
Have so much fun. Friends.
And have some. And we're all just. It's an exciting time.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna say. It's an exciting time for our
really
throuple.
Is.
Oh yeah, for our
throuple.
For our throuple is going. The sky is the limit.
The sky is about to get
bluer. If that's even possible.
That's right.
There you go. All right. Love you guys. Thank you so much.